underneath it, and great work from Love just to make sure.
Yeah, I think when you're given a short field like that, throwing something quite so speculative when there's a bit of wind around feels like a bit of a waste, but
I don't think she intended it to be that speculative. I think it was a it was supposed to be a nicer round. The Terrible Monkeys player in the end zone was definitely available. It just wasn't the correct throw to connect with it.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably one of those where she's trying to get it out in front of her receiver, but never mind. Love with the disc back here and a chance to go 4-1 up, although there's a stoppage. I'm not quite sure why, but okay, here we go. Back with the play.
So Love shooting towards Della Forti. Swings it around the back. Nice movement, containment from Terrible Monkeys, continuing to put on some decent defensive pressure, holding their forces nicely. Oh, and there's the miscue from Love. It's not been long since both these sides have played their last games. So, but not that much of a workload here at the European Championships. 2 games per day. Plenty of time to rest the legs in between and have some sips of some of the local lovely beers.
And they are very lovely. Definitely can confirm that. It's been one of the high points of the tournament so far, frankly. And it's been a fun tournament, but the beer is very good.
The beer is indeed excellent. Della Forti putting it up. Looking a little bit static now. Spread across the field in an unruly manner, and the isolation in front of the disc can't quite make it work.
So I said earlier, both teams have had fairly tough pulls. Love coming through against Mantis and 3SB, but falling to Dublin Gravity, so they're the second seed in their pool. And Terrible Monkeys, third seed in their pool because they have Valkyria and Kuzb Shout, who look to be 2 of the better teams here. So tough initial pool for Monkeys, and they're going to be wanting to show that they are better than third place in that pool.
Oh, spicy. Nearly getting the run through for Love. As you say, I think this Terrible Monkeys side, when I spoke to them earlier, they've not given themselves quite enough credit. There's a good block there, great defensive positioning from Love, but they're putting together some pretty decent offense.
Yeah, they're working it around nicely. I think it's just that keeping that composure all the way through. They seem to have been struggling to connect on the more expansive options. Love managing to get a body in the way. So they're able to get the disc back, and Love is certainly looking pretty clinical on offense for most of this game so far.
Oh, and that is a beautiful shot, just fading into the center of the field. Is it good? Not short? No, just make sure. Della Forti scooching in front just to secure this goal there. And they maintain their lead 4-1.
That was an absolutely fantastic cut all the way under, opened up the space, and then a beautiful flick deep. That's a kind of incisive and decisive play that really makes a huge difference in games like this. She's opened up a channel, nice easy throw for the thrower throwing to her, and then two receivers going deep, and it's an easy score for Love, extended to 4-1. So the winner of this game is going into the power pools in the top 8. There's some good teams so far. You were watching Valkyria Shout earlier, 2 of the best teams at this tournament. So far, it seems anyway.
It was an interesting game. I think it's the first time those iterations of Cusp and Valkyria have met. Certainly in the Open, Valkyria saying that they really enjoyed playing the European Indoor Championships, but they are lacking a little bit of depth in their roster. Their top line is phenomenal, which is one of the strengths that we're going to see them advance in the top bracket. But whether they can really make those semis and the final itself will depend on how well they can have their stars. But of course, they're playing a crossover, having lost that game to Cusp, with the top of the women's pools advancing, as you say, straight into power pools and getting that all too valuable bye. But it was a messy one, Cusp and Valkyria, especially with the wind and the elements. But I'd wager these 2 teams probably have a harder job of it with this wind and the rain.
Ooh.
That is a baller shot, and it comes off for Terrible Monkeys. Talking about indoors, that's a Chut-style outdoors, indoors kind of throw.
Looking at her reaction, I don't think she meant to throw it quite with that much blade, but it's come off, and it looks great, and it's going to be on the stream and saved on the YouTube, so she can go back and have a look at it, and it's a highlight play.
Yeah, Kotobova. Sorry, Kotobova. Right, we've now been informed through the magic of the internet and some help from the lovely DJ Tom Styles. We've been now provided with some rosters for Terrible Monkeys. So viewers enjoy as myself and Sean attempt to pronounce correctly the Czech names for Terrible Monkeys.
I'm not going to go near that. I'm going to try and wait till you pronounce something and then just copy what you say, because I'm definitely going to mess something up. But
this is when we need Rachel Toshnerova to come and help us out from 3SB. Not captain, despite what certain ULTI World reporters might have written.
Yes, sorry to 3SB.
I mean, Toshi is a big deal to us in the streaming community because, as I say, she's always providing us with the correct pronunciations, but no doubt playing elsewhere on this field site. So we see the pool coming up for Terrible Monkeys. If you want to join us in the comments, you can't, because I think we're not quite live, but enjoy watching this one back. And if you fancy putting a like or sharing this with a friend, please do, and please consider subscribing to Patreon so we can get even better coverage, more games, more fields, and more importantly, stronger and more waterproof equipment. So LUV on the attack, working nicely between the two. Popping across. And I've just been informed we are live, so actually you can get in the comments. So please feel free. We have now opened them up.
Absolutely love the source on that D. The disc was basically on the floor anyway, but just make sure, push it all the way down. Bit of style. I appreciate that enormously.
Oh, reaching a high grab far side, just asking far too much.
Yeah, even though the rain is certainly not as strong as it has been, that disc is still going to be pretty greasy, and it's still going to be unpleasant to be running around in these conditions. It's going to get in people's eyes as you're trying to throw, as you're trying to cut. And we are seeing some mistakes that we might not usually see here.
Some Monkeys just playing the flat game, small ball. Thinks about the put. Nice composure from Marie Mikhailova. With the yellow cap. Just anchoring this Terrible Monkeys off. Oh, nearly a second. Look at it there, but the second slap from the Jet Set shirted player.
Definitely not Jet Set.
Well, not quite the correct number on my roster sheet, but whoever you are, number 81, excellent bid block.
It's really good D from LUV there. They were shutting all the options downfield. Monkeys had to work it around the handler set, and eventually they were able to force a mistake out of them. But that's all generated from the pressure that the LUV players were able to exert downfield.
So Saskia Chambil far side, managed to squeak one out. Good movement across. Radwick on the disc. Really enjoying the cog work from Charlotte Peters. Oh, and a little stumble from the player that got the block. Looks to be just not quite in, but an easy pop over the top shoulder of the defender, and that is a goal for LUV.
I don't think it was a stumble, Hanny. I think she's jumped and tried to move her feet and kind of toe into the end zone. I think it was a really nice move, and that offense from LUV was really, really nice, flowed really, really well. That inside break from the right side, the near side as the camera, as we're looking at it, all the way over to the far side, was a beautiful throw out just in front of the receiver, made it nice and easy, opened up the field, and very efficient from LUV. They're looking very impressive to start this game.
They certainly are, Sean, and I say I really like the work from Charlotte Peters, who's kind of working as a little cog in the middle. A lot of the give goes, the number 20 for LUV. very sprightly.
Yeah, they have a lot of cutters, it seems, who are able to get free, able to go a couple of steps, a couple of bits of explosion either side and work themselves some space. And their offense looks like it's going to be a tough one for Monkeys to be dealing with.
So I just watched a game, Sean, on the other field in the previous time slot where the team that went on to succeed got an early couple of breaks and basically were just able to just gently lean on the pillow and smother their opposition. There was a pretty cool comeback. It did go to sudden death in the end, but LUV have managed to establish a 2-break lead here. So they're leading by 3 on the scoreboard. But my understanding is that they came out on offense and therefore they are 2 breaks up on Terrible Monkeys. As I see another just bit of a miscued throw. An immediate pick up and boost it to the far side, but the roll curve is just a bit too flat.
That is unfortunate. I think the receiver wasn't quite aware that that option was coming out because that option was 100% on, and it was actually quite good execution. Just slight miscommunication between the 2 players, which is unfortunate because it would have been a really nice, expansive goal.
Yeah, great vision from Claudia Anna. Or Clyda Anna. We're trying with the names. But us Brits and are trying to pronounce things in non-Belgian, non-Czech ways. And now with the disc again. Oh, just bobbles off the finger. Doesn't quite get the second glimpse of it until it's a little too late, and that one's already in the grave.
Both teams a little loose, particularly the D-line offense, struggling slightly to convert for both teams at this point.
And a bit too much spice on that one for Bora Huskova. And back in the palms of LUV. Oh, what a fiery backhand that is. Just on the goal line. Nice break. Looks for the inside, but it's going to be huffed away. I think that hit the calf of the defender.
Yeah, not sure what it hit, but I'm just trying to force it, isn't it? That backhand down the line was beautiful. There was almost no wind-up, just zipped it all the way in there. And a bit of end zone eyes, I think, from the thrower, thinking you're right there, let's just try and force it in. And as we've seen so many times, I'm sure all of us watching have seen it as well, when you're trying to force it in there and you try and go into a window that doesn't really exist, it just does not come off.
Well, the handler matchup worked really well there, although one goes back the other way for Terrible Monkeys. They're given another opportunity to put it on the board. Separation in the deep space, but great work from the mark. Means it's not going to come. Good rundown from Kutrubova. Oh, and that's beautiful, but she doesn't put the arms out. Tries to get it with the legs. I would have liked to see Holdacheva just go for that one, maybe just launch herself out forward, but great put.
Yeah, just a little too much sauce on it, maybe a little straighter, a little flatter, but it's a nice throw, a nice option. Just a little unfortunate they weren't able to pull it off. Quite a few turns in this point so far, Hanny.
Oh, absolutely. But that's what we want to see. Terrible Monkeys settling in now after taking that early 3-point train from LUV. And they're under this one now. So, Barbara Husovkova. Oh, it's another risky biscuit, but it's ripped out of the sky. And that is a little sliver of excitement for the Terrible Monkeys side.
Yeah, that's another throw from Kortbova, which is extremely speculative. Both times she's thrown forehand blades. It's come off though, so at this point, why not try more, I would say. Let's have some more spicy stuff, but
it's a solid O-line handler gambit, right?
Definitely, that's all I do, throw spicy stuff. But I think the...
As someone who's played with you a lot, Sean, I'm not sure that's entirely accurate.
No, not really. Not at all. But I think the Terrible Monkeys defense on the LUV point there is they brought it up to their own end zone line. Really good high stall throw, didn't come off, and Monkeys were able to convert on the short field. But quite a few turnovers there. Monkeys are going to want to clean up their offense slightly, but they are managing to keep this a little closer and not let Love run away with it.
Absolutely. They were maybe a little bit asleep. It was a very exciting game on the previous time slot on this field, so this one started a little bit later than the schedule dictates, but what a barnstormer that one was at the end.
Yeah, it was a really crazy game. There was a lot of huck and D. There was a lot of peculiar decisions from both teams. There was some absolutely ridiculous plays from both teams as well. Costa Rica Grandes in particular with some layout blocks that were just fantastic. And in the end, it was a Callahan that won the game, which is about as rare as I think as you'll see in Ultimate. So a really fun game in pretty terrible conditions for a large part of it. So the play on the field was keeping us warm despite the weather.
Well, I have to say, I am mighty glad that it's cheered up a little bit, although rather grey skies still here in Bruges, in Belgium, as we watch Jet Set. No, not Jet Set. The shirts are confusing me. It's Love, but unfortunately, the only person who loved that throw was Dominika Kutsova.
Yeah, a little low. I think the option was on, but a little low.
We can hear Agnieszka Kutrobova yelling from the sideline, the number 11 offensive handler, trying to G her team up into making good decisions. Let's hope.
It's probably wanting to throw more blades.
Well, they're currently going to need some blades because they're just squeezing it down that far sideline. It's a roll curve. It's not bladey, but it gets picked out of the sky by the correct receiver as intended. Run up the line. Oh, just a little bit on it, but that is the first break of the game for Terrible Monkeys. And it's not the prettiest, Sean, but it's mighty effective.
Certainly not the prettiest. And the window that she squeezed that scoring throw in must be absolutely tiny. The defender came off, looked like she was upset with herself because it must have been incredibly close to a block there, but squeezed it in she has, and it is a goal for Monkeys, and that's one of the 2 breaks they conceded back. So certainly after a tough start, as you say, maybe a slightly not quite prepared for the game, but they are back in form now and starting to pull themselves level with Love.
Indeed, and they're only going to have to get one more break to put us back on serve. So it's all very much a doable thing. I'm going to have to say the captain I spoke to ahead of this game, Sean, I think she undersold themselves.
Oh, really?
Well, as I say, Terrible Monkeys did lose to 3SB not too long ago. And so I did ask, are you going to get some revenge for your fellow countrywoman? And she said, well, we're going to try.
Oh. Not the most definitive.
Well, that's all you can do, really. You got to try. It's very trying.
It's that lyric from a Nelly Furtado song.
I'm now distracted by thinking through my mind the lyrics of Nelly Furtado without singing on air. I feel like there's definitely something that rhymes with try in I'm Like a Bird. But anyway, back to the action at hand. Love looking to get a clean offensive hold if they can and come out. De La Forti, disc on the far sideline. Silke puts it up into the middle. I want to say Silke is originally Austrian, but I'm going to have to check my facts as we see a rather interesting one from Charlotte Peters.
That was a really expansive option, given that she had someone free in front of the cutter she was trying to throw to. So if you threw to the cut-off player there, they would have been able to turn and throw to the same cutter. So trying to cut out the middle person, so to speak, and it did not go entirely well, I think it would be fair to say.
Yeah, that's an accurate description. Also, a bit of fun information from the comments. So the reason why we're seeing some Jet Set shirts on the stream is that Jet Set is the name of the club, the overall club, and Love is the women's team of Jet Set Ultimate Club Leuven. Also, fun facts for you, Silke De La Forti in the 11 shirt, currently on the mark. Her dad organised the 1988 Worlds in Leuven.
Oh, wow.
So the Frisbee runs in her blood, apparently.
A legacy player.
Oh, yeah. If you could tell us who number 81 is that got that great defensive grab, then please do. As De La Forti knocks on the doorstep of another goal for Love.
That looked in.
We are quite far away, though, Sean.
Yeah, true.
Not got the best angle for that line call.
True, true. I'll make it anyway.
Well, they're going to have a chat through about it. Marie Michalova having a little chat.
One thing that's really, really evident is LUV very fast on offense. They've got 3 or 4 players that are very, very, very quick.
Oh, and hello also to Mathieu Stetke watching this stream, watching some of his countrywomen as the goal is called good for Silke de la Forte.
They could have just asked me.
Nobody ever asks you, Sean. No one asked you for nothing.
No, that's true.
But yes, hello to all of our viewers. Wherever you're watching from, please do let us know. Who are you supporting and where are you? And are you an ULTI.TV.com Patreon? What's that all about, Sean? Why am I asking that?
Well, because ULTI.TV are running their own Patreon to get some money to help improve their coverage and do more coverage. So it's you can join for a very reasonable price. I am a Patreon. I've been subscribing to it, and you can not only provide some money to help the coverage we're seeing now, but provide more and better coverage for this tournament, for other tournaments in the future, and get all that coverage free on YouTube.
What do you get? The ultimate player who has everything. An ULTI.TV Patreon subscription. Just saying. Christmas is but around the corner. And I tell you what, Santa in his sleigh wouldn't even be able to catch that one, but Terrible Monkeys can. And that is a beautiful piece of offense from the ladies of Prague. Can she keep it? No, just pops up. Bit of last pass syndrome there.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. You can tell from the flight of the disc that's bobbled in the wind, but up to that point it was beautiful. The options were perfect. That huck was absolutely beautiful. Sat up in the wind perfectly for the receiver. Unfortunate on that last pass, I think, but a real chance for LUV to snatch back one of those breaks.
Yeah, I think that was either number 95 or 34 for Terrible Monkeys with the arm that shot that beautiful, just perfectly weighted pass. But LUV being held by the defense of Terrible Monkeys.
Good switching.
We're going to see a big put from Celis. We certainly are into the deep space. Oh, I really like that. The Terrible Monkeys player behind Barbora. Going to try and do this again. Husakova. We go with that. I need Rachel to teach me. But I love the fact that she was behind her matchup. Just knew exactly where the disc was going to land.
To be fair, I think it was the LUV player made some ground up and had no right to get there. And the defender had the positioning the whole way, but she had a really good shot at it at the end after some really good work, actually.
True, but so yeah, my point was that she played the disc, not the defender.
Yeah,
no, not the mark even.
The defender definitely had position the whole way.
Oh, great knee sliding catch on the far side, just keeps it holstered in the middle, nearly pops out. Lipsy. Now we need to see a reset. Oh, it's going to be a high, risky dish into the end zone. Up goes Terrible Monkeys, and they put another one on the board, and that is a hold.
I like that they need a reset, and then it's a blade into the end zone, which has come up 3 times for them now. So blade into the end zone, it must be on the first page of their playbook. It's what they're looking for every time, and they are coming off. They've got a few tall receivers, so it's not the worst option in the world, clearly, for them. Maybe not exactly how you would draw it up, were you running things as in a classic offense, but whatever works.
I think that's been probably the name of the game for Terrible Monkeys in this first half, is that rather than putting a high stall sort of swing pass or dump pass with loads of heaps of pressure on it, they're kind of being a bit more ballsy with their high stall situations. Like, you know, they get a little bit squidged, stall counts on 6 or 7, and they go, you know what, why not?
Just stick it in the end zone and see what happens.
And why not? They seem to be pretty good at grabbing them down in that final. It's either they're a little bit rushed, a little bit hurried, and have a miscue when they're trying to shoot for the end zone on those smaller, thinner passes, but those big shots, working out.
Yeah, it is. And LUV, despite the fact they offensively do look good, they look sharp, they look like they're well drilled, look like everyone is, you know, athletic and good throwers. They've given up a couple of chances at the end zone at this point.
Perrine de Hasps, thank you very much, commenters, for telling us that number 81, who's been going all over the field, both sides of the disc for LUV. I think she was the intended target for that. It's going to be, oh, nearly.
Unconvincing D.
Indeed. Try and catch it. Don't try and slap it. That's my advice. Especially if you're playing for a team where you don't understand the language, so you don't know if you're actually supposed to be on offense or defense in a drill. As we see De Houch there putting on pressure, managing to get the block on Dominika Kurzova. Now, relatively quiet offense. Oh, opens it up with a big expansive shot diagonally across, and it comes good after missing the intended target. The garbage cleanup from De Houch.
That's the kind of throw. It's a really, really nice IO throw. It doesn't really matter who you're aiming at. You get it out on that break side. All the people that are going to have a shot at that are your own players. And she's put it out on that side, and it's been cleaned up, but a beautiful inside break throw and some really, really nice offense from LUV after the turnover there.
Well, they maintain their lead, just that little nose in front, 1 point away from taking half. So this would be a really good position to put themselves in if LUV can get a break here.
Worth saying as well, the turn on that last point, the run through D, LUV are getting their hands just in front of these Terrible Monkeys receivers, and their D looks to be really hot. I'm very impressed by how they've been able to impact the field, the game downfield.
Well, as the action hots up in this first half, the rain has arrived once again to cool us all down a little bit as the pool is going to float out of bounds on the far side. So enviable field position for Terrible Monkeys, a chance to get themselves set. But of course we also see the defense setting up, and it's a zone look from LUV. Flat three at the front. Looks to be, yeah, three and then one at the back.
Yeah,
Celis, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Lisa Celis, I already know him, plays an excellent deep in the zone. So maybe trying to watch out for those risky biscuits that we've seen Terrible Monkeys start to throw up. But working it nicely, exposed behind that front wall. Didn't find the continuation that she needed to keep it flowing. Oh, good adjustment there on a rather low disc. We've seen Terrible Monkeys gaining confidence as this game has gone on. Now good penetration through. Celis is on the attack, but doesn't quite manage to get in front of it and stop the connection for Terrible Monkeys. And they keep this half alive for 1 more point.
Great catch in the end zone there. They did a really good job in that zone offense. They kept the deep a long way away. The middle three for LUV was quite disconnected from the front three. It looked quite narrow at times. And Terrible Monkeys, because they had all that space, because they kept the deep so far away, were able to work through it really nicely. Went straight through the middle. And an absolutely fantastic layout catch in the end zone for that score.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. She had to go big, and she delivered like the postman.
Post-women.
Post-person. Post-deliverer.
Post-deliverer.
Postmaster or mistress. No, that's gendered. So many subtly gendered terms. Doing our part by trying to be neutral as we can. So a hold for Terrible Monkeys. But their D-line now needs to come out and harness the power of the wind and the rain. See if they can snag that all-important break back to get us on serve. But LUV will have several things to say about it. Not one, not two. I reckon maybe 6.
6 things. It's a lot of things.
Ah, not really. Not when you're passionate about winning an ultimate game.
True, true. I wonder if we'll see a zone of their own from Terrible Monkeys. It seems like it's, with the rain coming down even harder, it might be a good time for it.
I think that is a smart call, Sean. It's a nice pull. It's going to sit and hang, pretty much landing at the brick mark.
Ooh.
Looking around, Peters takes some time just to clean the disc. Thankfully, the rain's not quite so heavy in this game. In the last round, you were honestly probably putting more water on if you used your jersey. Holsters the squeeze down the sideline, but takes it anyway. It's just not quite the right one.
I would like to see a replay of that pull. That looked very close to her potentially not catching it before it hit the ground. But play on we did.
I just caught a replay on my tablet in front of me so I can see the comments on the stream. It looked okay.
Okay, good.
But either way, we can't make calls in our booth. It's the players on the field that have to be beady-eyed for that kind of thing. Far side. Oh, I thought that was going to be a rip up of a backhand into the deep space. But the defense really just making them squeak it out on the far side of the field. The slightly weaker one as the wind is blowing directionally. Oh, and that is a interesting flick huck that's going to roll all the way out of bounds and give Terrible Monkeys a moment of respite.
Yeah, definitely a high stall option, wasn't it? Just get it down to the end zone, kind of playing field position. Looked at her dumps, but it was really, really good dump D from Love. Now they're going to have to go from their own end zone, so could be a lot worse for Terrible Monkeys.
So the O-line for Love. There has... Now it's Verk. Nice and patient. Van Wyk. Back to Peters. Ooh, interesting tilt on that one. But it works to De Hasp. Delafort. Delafort looking a little bit lost for options, has the up the line and takes it. And again, all the action happening on that far sideline, but eventually disc goes into the center of the pack and it is knocked down by the defense. Both teams, Sean, being really just siphoned down that far side.
Yeah, I think Love were doing a good job earlier on in the point of using the break side, but then Terrible Monkeys were able to tighten up those forces and keep funneling them, as you say, down the far side. And that shot into the end zone from the handler, who did have some space to work with, maybe a little more speculative than it needed to be. It was a little flatter, or even if we were just waiting for a slightly easier option, it's an easy goal, but a good hand in there from Monkeys.
So we need to see both these sides step out low and dump and swing. There's a terrible, terrible rap song. I don't know if you've ever heard it, Sean. It goes, well, actually no, I won't even try and recreate it, because A, it has swears in it, and B, nobody wants white girl rapping on this live stream. Nice, big, expansive play. This is what we needed to see, breaking the forces, taking on the shots for Love as they look to try and shut the door on this first half. Nice, big around, but just bobbles off the hand, trying to connect with Jan Verleek.
Van Wyk has been really, really good as a cutter. That's the first mistake I can remember her making. She's had a really good game so far.
So we now see Terrible Monkeys once again. Sneaky defense. I like a bit of that. Can they convert it? De Haas pops it in, and that is a goal and half for Love from Leuven. Yeah,
nice double happiness there. As you say, snuck in for that block on the swing pass and then got into the end zone for a nice, easy score. I know there's been a few turnovers, but Love's offense I'm impressed with. They look to be a really good team.
Well, these teams kind of seem to be going point for point at the moment. The last time we had a break was at 5-4, and that was, at 5-3 to make it 5-4, as Terrible Monkeys got their first break on the board. But we seem to be finding a bit of a rhythm here. So it's nice. We thought kind of, there were whisperings, murmurings, perhaps some shadow of doubts that this game might be a bit of a one-sided affair, but it's turned out to be pretty nice to watch. Yeah, Monkeys definitely sold themselves short if they were unsure, because they are playing really, really well here. So as the teams take their break for half-time, we are too. We'll be right back in a brief moment after this.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch,
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the ultimate world and beyond.
Welcome back here to Field 2 at the Sports Complex in Bruges, Belgium. It is the xEUCF 2021 European Ultimate Championship Finals. The pandemic, is it over? I think it's over. We're playing Frisbee with people from all sorts of countries around Europe. A little bit of masking is happening. A bit of vaccination has happened over the past months to year. But it's such a pleasure to be bringing you action from this women's crossover. Sorry, we're not quite in power pools. We're in the women's crossover stages. This is where terrible monkeys from Prague in the Czech Republic are trying to snag a berth into the top of the women's division bracket off of LUV from Leuven, who had a 3-point unbroken run to begin this game, as we see Silke Delaforte on the far side swinging across and missing Peters. Not sure what happened there. It's an umbrella blocked my view, but a costly error potentially as monkeys look to get their first break. So I take it back, it must have been 3 breaks to begin with LUV coming out on offense. Even more remarkable to start with. So, monkeys looking a little bit flustered on the far sideline. Peter's trying to win it back, just squeaking it through. Close to the first goal of this half. Oh, just bobbles off the fingertips, reaches up. Michaela Novotna, but not able to come down with it.
Yeah, it's really good D downfield from LUV. They're able to reduce the options massively.
Peters, centre of the field, has Delaforte, the big handler, coming out of the Jet Set club. Peters, nice centre. This is decent flow from LUV, but occasionally looking a little hesitant. Oh, lovely inside shot to Peters. Thinks about continuing the expansion with an around backhand, but holsters. Nice giving and going, chopping those Tokai cleats on the floor. Nice handler defense, making LUV take some negative yards, good containment. Just nibbling away like a little foot cleaning fish, but throws just far too low. Silke Delaforte tries, but there was no way she was snagging that one.
It's a shame because that was really nice offense. LUV were being patient, they were taking on the force when they needed to, they were getting open on the unders, but monkeys have got an opportunity now to eat into that lead even further than they did in the first half, getting one of those breaks back.
Oh, that is a... Well, I tell you what, I was about to say misguided put, but look at the roll on that disc.
Play for position.
So setting up the mark Holcheva. Peters finds Delaforte. Ooh, and just a missed clap catch there. Seems to be some kind of call on the play, perhaps a pick, but that, if it is, it's going to be retracted.
Yeah, unless it's a call that would stop the game, that's probably a turnover. Again, just a slight miscue on a fairly routine pass. Some discussion here. I don't know whether it's a pick call and she's saying she heard it and it distracted her, so that's why she couldn't make the catch, but whatever it is, it looks as though we're going back to the thrower.
Perhaps then it could be, hazard a guess, it could be maybe a foul call, because that would officially be stoppage.
Yeah.
And therefore it would have to come back.
A foul by the offense, you mean? Yeah, could be, could be.
Either way, we're back with Peters with the disc. Finds a nice upline. Ooh, saucy inside to Delaforte. Continues the run on the break side. These are the breaks. Break it up, break it up, break it up. Are they going to break down, though, before they reach the end zone? No, they're not. You don't have to call the recovery van. It's all good. Love put the next one on the board, and that, I believe, is the first point of this half.
Really nice inside throw again from the main handler there. It's a really good job. It's to move the disc, get it moving nice and quickly all the way over to this far side, and some nice offense from Love. But Monkeys had a couple of chances there, so they are definitely not out of this game. They've shown they can take the disc off Love, and they've shown in the first half that they can convert on D, so they'll need a few of them. They're a little bit behind, but they've shown they can do it.
They certainly have it in them. It's not completely out of reach, and certainly a 3-point deficit. It's not the worst place to be in the world. You'd rather be on the other side of the scoreline, of course, but can't have everything.
No, you cannot. And Monkeys, to be fair, considering that they came in with potentially not having the highest of expectations, considering, as you said, Love have beaten the Czech national champions of 3SB, they're giving a good account of themselves here. They certainly don't look out their depth by any stretch.
I think probably the difference, I'd say, at the moment is the fact that when Love put their O-line on, you've got Peters, Delaforte and co. It's quite hard to shut that down consistently. They haven't been broken apart 1 point of the game. And largely, I think that's probably due to when they bring those power stars on. My, they are good. But at the moment, things looking pretty rosy for Terrible Monkeys out here. Big backhand near sideline. Nice to see some action right in front of us, Sean, rather than squeaking it down that far side. Lipsy manages to find the reset. Nice sliding low grab. Horsleva looking around. Kotlova. And again, we're having to really work hard for every single reset. This is great pressure from the Love defensive lineup. And there we go. Finally makes the, well, I'm trying to think of the word for that one. Hombergen with the block.
Yeah, nice high. Knocks it out of the air just before it gets to the receiver. Monkeys have done really well. Love came out with a kind of a loose FSU. They were matching up downfield, and the handlers were the handler marks, I should say, were a lot saggier, kind of 3 in a line there. Monkeys worked all the way through it as they flipped to match, but as you say, Hanny, Love doing a really good job of keeping close to their marks and challenging every throw.
So let's see if they can snag themselves another break here. It is a big shot that's going to sit and hang. Great read from the Terrible Monkeys defender. And another one for good measure.
Put herself in a great position to take down that huck. Really good D.
And then captain with disc in hand, the number 14 with a nice headband, Teresa Peskova. Ooh, and again getting up in the mixer go. Love But I don't love that backhand. That's not going to come inbound. So giving a relatively short field opportunity for Terrible Monkeys after Love worked so hard to try and punch in that defensive break.
Yeah, that's a bit of a waste of a nice defensive play. The Love defender was able to get just the right side of the Monkeys player and get a hand on it, make it really difficult to make that catch. And that backhand out the side of the pitch has kind of undone that work.
So you say short field opportunity, although coming in from the sideline. Let's see if the captain can make some magic happen. It's going to be a bladey flick. Oh, just hit straight in the hands, but a little bit low.
Yeah, it looked like quite a nice throw. Don't mind that option at all. Certainly throwing into space where only your receiver can catch it, but unfortunately not quite able to come out with it.
Turning into rather a long and grindy point like we saw in the midsection of the first half. Celis managed to pop it up the line. If anyone knows who the number 67 is, she's not on our roster, but oh, what an absolute bomb, but too low and snaffled up by Katarina Langova. But then swatted away themselves. Lipsy there, caught sleeping. Moving around nicely. We did see that big backhand from Anwar before, but she chooses just a pop to Celis for the goal, and that is a break for Love.
Love gradually marching themselves down the field through a series of blocks, weren't they? It wasn't necessarily flowing offense that got them down there, but good defensive pressure, a slightly wayward throw from Monkeys that gave the defender time to recover, and a nice, easy score on the front cone there to get a break back and go up 4 points. So Love really in the driver's seat here.
So up 3 breaks now. As we know, they started that way to open up this game and announce that they are here and they are ready to advance to the top side of this women's division. What's the likely fate of the loser of this game, Sean?
The fate of the loser of this game is unfortunately that they will be out of the competition. So out of the competition for the championship anyway. So the winner of this game goes through to power pools, where they'll play against the other teams in the top 8. So that two power pools of 4, which basically serve as the quarterfinals, because the top 2 from power pools go straight through to semis. So whoever wins this game still has a chance at making those semi-finals. But the loser of this will go into the consolation bracket lower down and not have any chance at the championship.
So this is all for top 8.
Ooh.
So we see a little flobbly wobbly on that pass there after holstering Kotrova, the number 11, so dominant in this handler set for Terrible Monkeys when she's on offense. Oh, nice low grab. Hadacheva with the redemption. And a big backhand. Again, it's a little bit low, but this time sneaking through the intended target. Lepsy makes no errors. Bit high there. Can it be run down? Oh, my goodness. What a great block. Celis putting the arm in the way, but that looked painful.
Taking an injury, yeah.
Hand does seem to have motion and good rotation as she moves it around. Just going to come off the field briefly.
Looks like a Monkeys player as well.
Yeah, I think they're going to take the opportunity if both of them come off, but a fair fight, no calls coming out of it. Celis really getting in there, causing problems. That is what she does, though. She is a unit on defense.
She's been playing really well. She's been such a big part of that D-line. Certainly feeling that risk, though, so hopefully for her and for Love's chances as we move forward in this tournament, it's not too serious.
Seems to be getting some good advice from her teammate, Esther Van Wyk. Or is it Wanvik?
Oh, you're asking the wrong person there.
Need an adult. Need an adult.
Preferably a Dutch one.
Well, I'll tell you who does not need supervision. This number 67 for Love. She's not on our roster sheet, Sean, but I've been really enjoying her defensive play. She seems to have a almost gypsy-like view of the future. You know, she's got a crystal ball out. She keeps it in her back pocket in the shorts. Just knows where the disc is going to be. But Peters with a costly error. Far sideline. Terrible Monkeys are staring up the hump of a 4-point deficit here, but striding up with confidence all the same. Far sideline though, the drop comes. Langova unable to keep her paws around it. That is a nice disc, but it's just going to sail OB. You can see the point from her intended receiver going, I wanted the other side. Why did you throw it over here? Although both teams could really value from bringing the disc a little bit closer to us, Sean.
Yeah, really expansive option when really it was just a little bit of composure would have sufficed, but certainly they're LUV getting closer and closer and closer to what would be another break here.
Great effort from the deep pack trying to run that one down, but not to be. But we're still stuck at 10-6 as LUV's D-line try and punch another one in. They're getting quite a lot of opportunities. Oh, it's a big shot, but that looks to be pretty good to me, and that is a goal. I started whinging about the fact that the point was dragging on Sean, and LUV go, okay, Hannah, we'll put one in just for you. But that was gold.
No hesitation at all there, was there? Clearly she's seen that cut going before she even caught the disc. It was a really nice throw, great cut, nice score, and that's 11-6, and LUV really in the driver's seat here. I mentioned that the loser of this bracket is out of the tournament, but the winner moves through into power pools with Valkyria, who looked really impressive in Pool A. One of the best teams here have already won their crossover against Heidelberg in 15-8. But we're seeing a bit of a battle on the other field where 3SB, the Czech champions we talked about, they beat Monkeys in the Czech National Championship. They are really pushing Flowers, who were the second best team in Pool B, just behind Giacca, pushing them all the way. It's 11-10 to Flowers at the moment, but
Ooh.
Another tight game in the women's division as we look to find the best 8 teams here.
Well, that's what we want to see when we were commentating the Giacca Heidelberg game yesterday. Stefan Rapazzo said a little, he threw a little bit of shade out there. He kind of named a couple of the top women's teams that are at this tournament and said, that's pretty much your lot. But it just goes to show you can get some compelling ultimate matches, even below that, you know, top tier echelon, all to play for still here in Bruges, because it's the year after the COVID lockdowns. Anything could happen, and I like what's happening with that shot, although it comes a little bit short, just hung a little too much out to the right and sank into the pitch, but that's going to be snaffled up by Terrible Monkeys as the pack tries to come through, giving options. It's going to be a high reset, well captured on the run, a little bit of a just slow down. Oh, and just, that's so sad. That was such a nice cut, Sean.
Yeah, I don't know whether she saw the defender coming just at the corner of her eye on her right-hand side, but maybe just took the eye off the disc for a split second, and that is all you need. Lose that concentration slightly, and it can squeeze out of your grasp. It's unfortunate. It was a nice block from Monkeys, and they worked that disc up quite nicely from there.
They did indeed, but there is another error. But no comedy.
Depends on the definition of comedy. It's a bit of a pratfally type stuff, bashing the disc around a bit. You can tell it must be getting greasier. The rain is continuing, but that's a couple of drops slipping through people's hands.
Indeed, a nice easy one potentially, and there it goes. One more in the bank for Terrible Monkeys. Varvova with the score.
Yeah, Monkeys needed that really, because otherwise this game would have started to really run away from them. I think it's, you know, the deficit is obviously not ideal for them currently, but if LUV had put that one in, it becomes very close to insurmountable. And given the magnitude of this game, what's up for grabs, a place in the top 8, that's not where you want to be. But only 4 points back, they're going to believe they can get back into this game. So we've seen them get a break in the first half. They're going to need to get several more now.
Indeed, they're going to have to get 4 more breaks. Terrible Monkeys trailing by a significant margin in the late stages of this game. But hey, as we said, anything could happen. It's a spicy day out there.
Yeah, they've been playing well. Some of their offense looks quite connected. Look like they know each other well, and they're using their height pretty well. We haven't seen any speculative blades for a while. Perhaps that's why they're
Bring them back.
Yeah, they let love slip away a little bit.
Bring back the indoors throws.
Definitely, I agree.
So, Love with another offensive line point. See how quick they can make this one. Holsters the backhand around break. Back in the center. This is nice, smooth movement. Oh, little stumble there, abuse. Peters is going to put it up. It's a really nice around backhand. Just an inch or two shy. Wondvik with the disc. Pops it back. Oh, and that's a really nice disc, but just a bit of lack of focus there. Doesn't quite get her hands around it. Verdeyen.
Yeah, another situation, slightly take your eyes off it. It is a bit greasy. If you lose concentration at all, it's going to make it so much more difficult to catch that Frisbee. But that offensive point was so nice. That throw from Peters was really beautiful. Around, opens up the field and really gave Love a good shot at the end zone. But Monkeys have it back, and this is where they're going to need to start coming back. Another great block by Perrins. Has been really, really good in this game.
Oh, and there it is, a nice flat backhand. This time Janovic watches it into her ready and waiting palms.
You can tell what we both thought of that. It came out and we both went, ooh, it was a really great throw. Lovely break. Had a great point there. And the O-line for Love again, showing that they are really, really tough to stop. Peters with a round backhand and an inside backhand. She can break you either way. And 5-point lead restored.
So 10 minutes left of regulation time in the original time slot for this game. We did start a tiny bit late here on this second streaming field, bringing you wall-to-wall action all evening. Although with these clouds, this weather, it's going to get pretty chilly around 7 o'clock when the final game slot of the day starts.
Yeah, it's certainly going to get chilly. It'll be a bit darker, but it was actually quite cool with the floodlights on, people running around. It was quite cool to watch.
It's very atmospheric.
Yeah, definitely.
Be nicer if the rain would stop. We'll see what the weatherman has to say, but at the moment, let's focus on the terrible Monkeys, who are not doing too terribly. We're not doing too terribly well in this second half of the game, having only posted one on the board since that point. And there is another drop on the far side. Good pressure from Jet Set player, but looked a little bit more like a miscue to me.
The dump D was brilliant. The player turned around, tried to get a dump off, but the number 24, the defender, just did not give her an inch of space. And as you say, the defender on the cutter was able to apply some pressure, but a drop, but a high stall drop that was forced by just fantastic pressure from Love.
So let's see if this D-line can make a cleaner go of it. Also, it took quite a long time. A nice redemption for Nadja Hombergen. And back in the hands of the expansive Anoa. Oh, and just squeaking it in, tippy toe grab. And that is another point, bringing us within 2 of the finish line for Love. Although we might yet see it be a game to 14, depending on what the time cap's going to be on this game.
True. Another really good point from Love's D-line. And 67 again. I don't know if anyone in the comments has given us the name, but she's had an absolute stormer here. Not only is she getting blocks, but she's getting goals on that front cone. Unfortunately, it does look like the D-line handler who went down with the bad wrist is out for the rest of this game. So fingers crossed that she is able to come back for the power pulls, because Love will need her if they are to make an impact against the teams they're going to be playing, which looks like they're going to see Valkyria and Yaka in their pool, as well as the winner of the game currently between Flowers and 3SB.
Woof. That is one meaty, meaty pool. Although I believe, Sean, the pool play games carry over into the power pools? Am I thinking that correctly?
I actually haven't checked that. I don't
Or will
remember.
will we see a potential rematch between Valkyria and Yaka?
I think we have the time for rematches, given that it goes straight into semis. So I will need to check that, but I don't think that the results carry through. But
Well, we will find out.
you'll be able to
We'll
find
see.
out on ULTIWorld when I've researched it and written about it.
Precisely. Sean is going to go after this game, figure us out, and we'll let you know. Make sure you look at ULTIWorld.com. There is a Eurozone type live page set up, live blogs, all sorts of action. But of course, you don't need that because you've got the live action right in front of us here, and that's a squeak into the end zone, reeling in the goal. On the other side of the disc, Anishka Godrubova.
Yeah, we said earlier, Monkeys had a point where they seemed to squeeze it into a window that didn't exist, and I think that happened again. It was another throw where it was really tightly guarded, but very precise. Nice execution. And another point that Monkeys needed to get, and they're back out on D to try and stem the flow of this LUV offense.
Indeed, a nice offensive hold that really is a very good O-line for LUV. But when you've got Silke della Fortre, it's tricky. It's tricky to surmount her. She's a very good thrower. And I have to say, I've not really seen much of her house before ever, but she's pretty handy.
Honestly, all 7 players on this LUV O-line have been playing really well. Obviously, like, as you say, Della Forte's been really good. Peters has been really good with the expansive options she's been throwing. Van Vick has been getting free underneath as much as she wants to, but everybody's been playing really, really well. But Chloe Valle, number 67, thank you in the comments, has had a storming game on D as well.
Yeah, she just seems to. We're talking about the weather forecast a little bit earlier on the stream. She's a Frisbee forecaster. She knows where it's going to be. She goes and snaffles it. Yum, yum, yum. Peter's picking up. Nicely centres. A little bit of a delayed pressure from Terrible Monkeys, but does a handiwork of upsetting the upfield, and Peters is unable to come down with that. Right idea, just not sure that was a communication, but a golden opportunity for Monkeys. Oh, saucy inside, but far too much mustard on it. Now back, bobble catch. Oh, it's turning into that stage of the game, Sean.
Yeah, three turnovers on 3 throws. Both teams just need to settle down a little bit, and that is why you see Monkeys really slow down and walk to this nice and calmly to give themselves some time to get composed.
Sitting in the pivot. Petrikova.
Commentators curse on getting composed. That's 4 turnovers and 4 passes now.
2 apiece. LUV with it back in hand. Silke della Fortre has deep shot available, but pick has been called. I love the cheeky little hand slap when that happens. Back they come. And so, oh, nice high release that just sneaks it past the defender. Oh my lord. Far side, looking around. Monkeys defense doing a good job, but Vereke. Oh, I'll tell you what, up until that point where she just had a drop, Esther Van Wijk. She's having a bit of a good second half of this game.
Yeah, she's been really reliable. Just a really effective cutter for the LUV offense. But unfortunate drop. I think it's another one where she took her eye off it slightly just at the point she was catching it to try and have a look upfield to see what was open next.
Thinking about the next throw before you secured the last catch. I think that's Chanikova who's going to put a big biscuit into the end zone. Is it going to have a Monkey name on it? Yes, it does. We've seen the return of the speculative offense, and I love it.
That looked like it bounced off one person and then into someone else's hands, which is exactly what happens when you start throwing speculative stuff into the end zone. But it worked for Monkeys in the first half, as you say, Hannah, and it's worked again now.
Voronka Havelkova with the goal, collecting the trash. 13-9 now the score.
It's one of the breaks that they needed.
And we are officially into the end of regulation time for this slot, although again, having had this game start a little bit delayed, I'm not entirely sure what time it's going to finish, but we'll bring you that information very soon.
Yeah, both teams are still going ahead. I haven't heard any hooter or anything yet. Certainly monkeys are going to hope that that hooter stays away for as long as possible. As soon as that cap goes on, they're going to have to limit LUV as much as possible, because one more point and LUV would win the game. So monkeys are going to hope they've got plenty of time left to build that comeback.
I don't think there are hooters here, Sean. I think the scorekeepers are in charge, no?
So just yells.
It just yells. Time is over. I still think the best time is over system has to be in Rimini, the Paganello tournament, with their little jingles. Nice low inside shot. Peters doesn't hesitate. It's going to throw it out of bounds, though, trying to hit the hasp.
Yeah, just the wrong edge on that throw, trying to get it out so quickly. She wanted OI to blade it into the receiver, and she's put a bit of IO on it, forced outside out of the field, which is unfortunate, because again, it was some nice flowing offense from LUV. Just that final pass at the moment is evading them slightly.
There's the arm up. Oh my goodness, a hammer. It's exciting, but it is the incorrect level of spiral for any of the monkeys players at the back end of the field. But I like the spice, Sean.
Yeah, forced into it by LUV. Della Forte looked like was poaching underneath and completely limiting the options in the open lane. So high stall hammer did not come off, and that is a great recovery. I was about to say what a great throw, but absolutely fantastic recovery.
Yeah, a little bit short for the intended receiver, and what a game of catch-up. Dominika Korsova. And now another opportunity for the Czechs to win one back. They're still in this game, although it's going to start feeling like a bit of a grind. Velkova pops it across. Oh, nice sliding lay just to make sure. Novotna. High one goes over, snaffled by Peters. Della Forte slices it into the middle. De Hasp opens up the arm, but I'm not sure. That might have collided with a block hand, maybe. Definitely was not where she intended it to go.
Didn't seem to fly right, did it? Bit of an attritional point here.
Absolutely.
On the other field, 3SB have taken the lead, so could be a theme here. Czech comebacks.
Well, you love to see it. I think we're going to have a German battle on the next one, but we're going to have to wait for that. This one ain't over yet. Coming in the mark. Things looking a little bit static in the downfield for Terrible Monkeys. They don't seem to. Oh no, I take that back. The continuations are coming now. Oh, nice block. Going straight to work. Esther Van Wyk with the defensive play for LUV. Can they now spot this one in and make it one more point to get into that top bracket? This women's crossover action here in Bruges, and that is a beautiful backhand, perfectly reeled in. Oh, I like a bit of that.
Yeah, you singled out Van Wyk for her offense a bit ago, but that was a great defensive play. Clearly using her speed on D as well. An absolute dime from Peters. Really, really good hook. Not too much of a window to throw it into, which makes it all the more impressive that it was put on an absolute sixpence for the receiver. Great goal. Nice and easy in the end. 14-9, and LUV are now 1 point away from taking their place in the power pools. Do you think they're going to be able to get this point on D, Hanny, or are Monkeys going to be able to prolong this game and maybe stretch it out a little bit? What do you think? They've been playing pretty well in this second half.
They have. I mean, I'm just a fan of games continuing for as long as they possibly can. Squeeze every single drop of juice out of the lemon or whatever your citrus fruit of choice might be. I'm a big fan of a pomelo. I don't know if you've ever had one, Sean.
Don't even know what that is.
A pomelo is one of the original ancient citrus fruits. They are delicious. They are very seasonal. They only are in season from sort of November time till February. Recommend trying one. Not too early in the season, but they are delicious. A little bit like a grapefruit, but sweeter. But unfortunately, the bid to try and redeem that throw for Terrible Monkeys was not quite sweet enough. They needed a couple more spoons full of sugar to help that offense slide down. But the disc is going to pop out like a piece of toast. Oh, that is an immediate throw. It could have been better if it had been about 2 seconds later.
Yeah, or maybe a little bit higher, helps it sit or something. But yeah, just a little too enthusiastic, I think, picking it up, seeing somebody going deep and just trying to get it immediately. But LUV again have the disc, and they are going to be trying to put the game away here. Their D-line offense has been pretty impressive second half. So Monkeys desperately trying to hold on here. And they've got a big poach out in that break lane.
Clyde on getting us underway with a break. Popping it straight back to her. Young woman with a very large arm. As I think something has happened in the 3SB Flowers pitch, because you can hear the screams from here, but we'll get an update on that one in but a moment as a big disc goes up. It's going to be chased out of bounds by Nene Lesby.
Yeah, 3SB still says 12-11 according to the score, so whatever's happened, we haven't had that update yet, but
12-11 to who? To 3SB?
To 3SB.
Oh, well, for the rest of the games, we are in time cap, so that probably, based on the screen, means a 3SB win over Flowers, but we will wait to have that confirmed for you when the score gets updated on Sean's phone. Nice inside break, though, from Terrible Monkeys. They try and stop this game from being quite over. It's a nice rundown, but just OB has a little touch of the barrier behind.
Yeah, it was open throw, and it was probably, I think, the right option, just a little bit too much on it again from Monkeys. Kind of a theme for this point. Slightly less on that throw, a little bit more shape, and as you said, a little bit later on the previous throw. Just maybe just getting a little too frantic as we get towards the end of this game, really desperately wanting to continue going and preserve the possibility of their place in the power pools.
So LUV now looking to close this one out. Been quite a few turnovers in this potential final point. Monkeys looking to keep the dream alive. Anwar has a look around. It's a big mark that she's trying to throw around. She manages to get her to stumble onto the floor, though. Oh, but a low disc. It's going to give quite a good field position. Just over halfway for Terrible Monkeys. As you see, a nice pick up and get us going. Velcheva going to put a beautiful flick, but it's going to be tapped down, read very well by Neja Hombergen.
Yeah, I don't think that was the best option that Monkeys had taken in this game. Really, it was a very small window, had to go past two defenders to get there. It was pretty tightly covered. I think it's one of those ones where discretion may be the better part of valor there, but LUV have another opportunity, and we've just had confirmation on the 3SB game. 3SB have won that game 13-11, so that was the shout that we heard.
Well, the Czechs with a comeback on the field just behind this one and the little huts, but looks like we're going to have to wait to see if Terrible Monkeys are able to punch this in. Or perhaps a bit of Huck and D finally paying dividends for LUV.
Yeah, better field position. It definitely came into the pitch before it drifted out, so I don't think it's going to be going all the way from where the throw came. Looks like it's just around halfway, maybe.
You've got to respect LUV here for putting on a proper D-line rather than popping their O-line just on to finish the game. Although obviously, if they don't win this point and Monkeys do put one on the board, it will be that O-line looking to finish this out with the win behind them. Monkeys popping across. Lipsy into Kotrubova. Opens up the big arm just enough. I really need to know who is wearing that 67. Actually, wait, we did get told, didn't we?
We
Chloe Valet having a great time out here for love, getting all the blocks, causing all the problems for Terrible Monkeys. Although you can see hands on the hips there. Come on, we got this.
Yeah, just managed to get a hand in there. Another expansive option from Monkeys. Worked really well in the first half. And a little bit, maybe another few centimeters on that and it might come off, but a nice block from Valet. And a slightly wobbly throw and just push it, continue the roll there.
Oh, that is a saucy around flick from the lefty.
Oh. Almost a real catchy moment, catch a D's moment there.
Getting us straight underway. Immediate action from Love. Responding, trying to get through. Not really much in the way of deep cuts coming from this stack. Now available, but well covered in the space. Good switching between the back set of Monkeys' defense.
Yeah, just a little bit of a bad execution on the centering pass. Tried the IO flick, didn't come out right at all. And another opportunity for Monkeys to extend this game.
Kutsova. Oh no, I take it back, that's not. That's Chonikova with the fetching blue headband. Far side. I'd like to see both these teams do some proper dump swings. Although we're going to go running up the sideline, and there we go. That point finally coming to an end with a beautiful upline cut from Naila Lepsy, sorry.
Yeah, Monkey saying who needs a dump swing when you can just jam it up the line for the score. A nice, effective play when it works, but that means it's 14-10, and that means now Monkeys are going to be coming out on D 5 times in a row. That best case scenario. It's going to be 5 chances for Love's O-line to win this game. And you would say, given how effective and how efficient this Love O-line has been, they are very strong favourites. You put your house on it, I think.
With the best love in the world.
Oh.
I don't see it. I don't see Terrible Monkeys coming back into this and giving us a Costa Rica free speed-esque finish to this game. I feel like this is probably going to be a nice, well, I'm hoping. I'd like to see actually Love give us some of their cleanest, most clinical offense. It might have a tiny bit to do with the fact that my toes have gone completely numb and I'd quite like to do a little jog up and down the sideline to get my circulation moving again. But that being said, we've seen some really nice connections from them. I'm particularly enjoying watching the number 81, De Hasp, who's new to me this year. I've not really seen her play before. But I'm going to get it back in play. Nice inside, easy grab. Swing around, looking for the resets. Good cover from Terrible Monkeys. So looking nice and patient. De La Forte coming to the forte. Nice up-line cut. Is it going to be jammed up that far side? No, it comes through into the center. Nice one for Peters, rips it down. Finding their structure, trying to get around. Oh, and that's a beautiful round to finish us off. A nice backhand, and Love are through to the top 8. Great stuff from both.
Yeah, you wanted nice clinical offense. That's exactly what you got. Really, really nice. That throw over to Peters on this near side was a beautiful throw. It gave her so much space to work with. She's been in that situation plenty of times with an isolated cutter. Pops it over the shoulder of the D to Van Wyck, and it's a really nice score. Nice and easy, 15-10 win.
Well, we are going to get off this stream because coming onto the pitch, it is MUC of Munich versus Wall City of Belgium. It's the Open Division. Back with you in a few moments. Stay tuned.